welcome back to my channel. I got a new update for you guys. Full disclosure, everything said here is alleged. This is all for entertainment purposes only. I repeat, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Everything is alleged. A part of me was hoping this was all a big prank that was spiraled out of control, and I am sure her family would agree. I'd like to take this time out to send my condolences to the family. Okay guys, so we're going to try to make this video as short as possible because there's a lot of new information surfacing and these are very helpful to the case. So let's go. It is very odd how Ashlee is an influencer on vacation, filming, might I add, has no footage to show outside of the viral proposal. I find that very strange. Am I the only one who finds that strange? Let me know in the comment section. On the list of allegations, we have Tanzanian police caught lying and possibly being paid off to withhold information. A staff member for the hotel they were staying at has a friend that also is a Tanzanian native that has stated Joe has multiple side pieces that he brings to the country very often. We have other allegations, Joe lying about him finding Ashlee unalived when it has been reported that staff member of the hotel had found her and admitted her to the hospital to get treatment. The note of her being unalived, in my opinion, the door is not strong enough to hold her up. She seems to be taller, you know, in the video, so I'm not sure that door would be able to unalive her unless she was kneeling down or something, which would be ridiculous, you know. Who would do such a thing on a day such as their birthday, especially after being proposed, you know? That just does not make sense. Not even if the proposal was fake, you'd still be on cloud nine. As a female, you would not want to unalive yourself, so that one itself makes absolutely no sense. Rubbish. On the note of other serious allegations, it had been alleged that Joe thought she had been unalived in her bedroom when it was not the case, and now she's at the hospital. He had paid somebody to finish the job. Now, these are very strong allegations. We need some proof to confirm these. Also, other allegations, Joe was trying to flee the country long before the idea of a birthday getaway entered the chat, and it became at the perfect time, which she used as a cover story. Though it seems while getting away, the mistress had entered the chat, and so did Joe's ego. It was alleged he got extremely upset. Someone was trying to hit on Ashlee at the hotel, maybe at the bar, and she paid them dust. However, Joe was still not standing for that, you know. He approached her, he let her know what was up. She didn't like that. I heard that she had responded saying, "Why are you upset? Don't you have several mistresses that you bring here? Haven't you been sneaking out every night since we have been here?" You know, so that may have triggered him, which may have also contributed into how she arrived unalive. It is said that the autopsy had been completed April 14, 2026. However, we have yet to hear anything. It is now April 2022, and we've yet to hear anything about, you know, what happened in the autopsy, outside of the fainted mark that was on her neck that they said came from her robe belt. And that couldn't be from a robe belt because it doesn't add up. A robe belt is not even that strong. It probably would have broken in two, you know, because they make them from flimsy material. No offense, they said it was from the hotel. Let's be real, it's not high end, so it's probably from cheap fabric. It's also been alleged that Joe is dealing in the dark arts, possibly the occult. He has also been dealing in organ trafficking, sex trafficking, escorts, a lot of things, including gambling, laundering money, possibly having accounts in his concubines' names that they do not know of, things like that. And these are very, very strong allegations. I have some videos here I'll be inserting. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll be waiting to hear your concerns. Okay, have a good day.
Okay, but did you guys hear what Sloan Bella was saying about this Ashlee Jenae and Joe situation? She just dropped a video on YouTube, and it's extremely heartbreaking. This man was allegedly involved in some dark web shit, and he was doing certain things for monetary gain.
He lost a lot of his money. In fact, it was taken away as punishment because he refused to do something. This guy is a facilitator on the dark web. I don't know quite what that means. I don't know what he facilitates, whether it's people, drugs, gambling. It's definitely gambling. And here's another thing. Just like hunting parties, okay, in different parts of the country, that the elites go on and they hunt people. This guy was in a gambling ring on the dark web, okay, like in a gambling ring on the dark web, where the premise is, if we're to look at it like this, the people put money down into his account or into the girlfriend's account. She doesn't know she has an account, by the way, but into their money accounts. And it's like, if he does this by this time, that's a check mark and he'll get $10,000. I'm making up the amounts, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a Simon Says with the benefit of getting money on the back end. So to earn back the money that you lost, took, stole, embezzled, okay, which then led me, when I heard the word embezzled, to the government indictments against him in the United States. So they were coming down with indictments against him for other things he did in the business world. I don't know what they would be, but he literally skipped the country to get indictments away from him physically, or their inability to come after him. That's why he picked this time frame. He literally was sinking and crashing and decided to pull a coup over here by leaving the country. So the embezzling, he was trying to get away from that. But whatever's going on in the dark web or around the dark web is causing people to up the ante, up the bets. I think you got to have sex with her by this time. I think you got to take her out here. I want to see you propose by this date. I want to see her in the hospital by this date. I want to see her taken off the planet by this date. Let's get some people to verify it. Let's get these two guys to follow you to make sure you live up to what you said you'd do on this gambling site on the dark web so that you can gain your money back by doing this over here. It's a really perverted game.
And he is well known by hotels, staff, and the people. So he has frequented Zanzibar. And my source said they were arguing about him cheating on her. He would leave the villa to go to other women at night.
And other women, would it be local women?
Yes. And then they also said that there was an argument at I think at the reception or something like that. Outside, there was also another argument. Somebody was flirting with Ashlee, and he got offended, and she started screaming about him cheating on her. That is what my source said. And he said that the police have arrested about 10 people who are suspected of being involved in terms of investigation-wise. The hotel staff, some people, also his friend. He had a friend there.
Wait, who had a friend there? You gotta be clear so that they're following.
Joe McCann had a friend in Zanzibar. And that friend has been arrested too.
Was this a male friend?
Yes, a man.
So he had a man with him at this resort that has been detained.
Yes.
Is this a white male? Do we know anything? Is this a foreign male? Do we know any specifics?
Yes, I have been told he's a white male. The police are going to release the postmortem on Friday. And also the police are holding on to all types of video and photos in terms of evidence. They're holding on to anything that is video and pictures. They said that it's going to impede the investigation. When Ashlee was found, she had her ring on, because I saw some people asking in the he chose Tanzania because the country has no good relationship with the US, first of all, because they're on the ban list. So everything that's going to come out is not going to be authentic. I do not believe in the justice system of Zanzibar. Let me say that. I'm an African. I'm in Africa. You can say whatever you want about me, but I'm going to speak the truth. And he is known. He's a frequent, visitor. They know him. That changes the story. It's not like somebody who just went there for the first time. And then he also chose a place where the police can be bribed.
Okay, elaborate on that. Tell us a little bit about the culture in foreign countries such as Zanzibar or Tanzania, Africa. How are white men viewed there?
Basically, they worship them.
You said worship?
Yeah, kind of like they hold them in high regard. So I talked to my source, and my source told me the man did it.
Wow.
Everything.
Loud and clear. From your source.
Yes.
Your source.
Okay, y'all, let me ask y'all a serious question. Now, before I ask you this question, I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine that I'm rich. I'm talking about really, really rich. I'm talking about the founder and CEO of a company rich. My grandparents were Tea Party conservatives. My great-great-grandparents even owned servants, right? If you Google the word Caucasian male, my picture might even pop up because I'm just that well established. Now, for some odd reason, my fiance, my future wife, met her untimely demise. If I was put in his position, I would do everything in my power to ensure that family got the answers that they need. I wouldn't be hard to locate. A matter of fact, I'd be sitting there right there with them, consoling the family, because at one point I was going to marry your daughter. I was marrying into this chocolatey family. We was going to all be family at one point. You wouldn't need a GoFundMe. You wouldn't be out here having to sell roast beef sandwiches to afford your travels, because remember, I'm already rich. Out the kindness of my heart, plus I want answers too. There's nothing for me to donate this money. Worst case scenario, I can write it off as a tax write-off. But he's not doing any of those things. Now you had to create a GoFundMe and hoping and praying the same people your daughter was not supportive of is willing to support y'all during your time of need. Why y'all think Joe isn't providing any assistance? Leave your comment in the comment section. But y'all supposed to be grown. Y'all gonna do what y'all want to do.
I'm not picking a person. I'm just looking at what makes sense. This is a huge resort. This is Zuri Zanzibar, and these are villas and bungalows. They're not connected. They're not sharing walls. Most of them are not. So, and where she was, the villas were very close to one another, but yeah, if they were arguing that loud, then the staff heard them, and that can create a moment of vulnerability. And I know it's in Africa, but staff is all shades. Trust me. I took a look. Okay? And you just never know who was waiting for the moment to pounce on, an opportunity with her, no matter how it came. You just don't know. You have to explore other options, especially if you're going to be an investigator, crime investigator, even from your couch. It's not always the usual suspect, seriously. The press release says that it was the belt from the robe that was used for the hanging. That sounds like a very in-the-moment type thing. That does not sound premeditated. That sounds like I'm reaching for whatever is available, even if it's on her. But again, I'm not saying it was staff. All I'm saying is we need to open our mind. Think about it. Who else would know that Zanzibar is trying to save on electricity? Who else would find that to be very important, not just to this resort and to this property, but for the country as a whole, because the country is suffering with power issues. And we have to turn, dial back on power usage. So when I leave every room, I'm already programmed in my mind and conditioned to make sure the lights are off, because this is possibly the country I'm from, where I live in, and I'm trying to help the environment. Also, according to the press release, it was said that the attendants go around and apparently around 7:30 at night, which is what they said. The person doing the press release said that, making sure that the guests don't need anything, if they need help, if they need assistance, if they need to have spray for bugs or anything like that. That's strange. Okay. And if you do knock on my door and I say, hey, I don't need any of that, but I do need a charger, and you give me the charger and I say, okay, we'll come back for it in about 15 minutes. I'll be done with it, right? Maybe that's what she said. Maybe that's the reason why she told him to come back, right? And you don't come back in 15 minutes. You come back after you attend a couple of other villas. You remember, you come back, you knock, I don't answer, and you decide to use your emergency key card to enter my room between 7:30 and 8 o'clock at night. This is not house cleaning time. But I don't understand. You don't communicate that you may find an issue with me not opening the door with your manager, with the front desk. I mean, there should be more coordinated effort instead of just entering my room. And then the fact that she was still alive after you discovered her and you didn't, quote unquote, take her down, you ran and got a manager. And this is from the press release. And it was almost like maybe that was you trying to make sure the job was done, and you got to walk a distance to find a manager because, again, this property is big. Nothing is right next door. So you were thinking probably maybe when the manager we get back to the villa, she'll be done. She'll be expired. But she wasn't. She wasn't. You have to see another day. And regarding that whistleblower who lives in Africa and said that somebody told her that Joe come there a lot and etc. Yeah, that's just, it's hearsay. And, you know, some people like their 5 minutes of fame. You just never know. And we don't even know who she is. So I'm only taking that with a grain of salt. All I'm asking people is to stop making it sound like, you know, I am taking our eyes off of Joe. I'm just saying there are other angles that need to be considered because, again, it's not always the usual suspect.